et à droite. Même position qui plus bon, mes amis. C'est ça nous pral pire, mais piquer devant, piquer devant, piquer devant, piquer devant, piquer devant, piquer devant. DJ Gouli, comme ça.
J'ai commencé, combat.
DJ Gouli.
The next time you hear the sound of my voice will be for the evening announcements coming up at 6:30. It's time to bring you the evening news right here on your nation station, DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, a leader of the United Workers' Party has been released on bail of $25,000 after he has been charged with unlawful assembly. In the news from the region, Guyanese government to cover cost of CSCC fees for students and internationally U.S. ambassador to Ukraine to step down amid critical peace talks. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
And welcome back. First off, leader of the United Workers' Party, Dr. Thompson Fontaine, has been released on bail of $25,000 after he was charged with unlawful assembly. He becomes the 25th individual to have been charged in connection with the March 19th protest action outside Fort Young Hotel. Dr. Fontaine, who was asked to report to police headquarters this morning, was taken to court where the charge was read to him. He did not have to enter a plea since the matter was an indictable one. He was granted bail in his own recognizance. On Wednesday, attorney Ronald Charles was released on bail of $25,000 after he was charged with unlawful assembly. On March 19th, protest action organized by the Electoral Reform Coalition took place outside Fort Young Hotel as 3 electoral reform bills were being debated on Parliament. The police said after that protest was an illegal one and those responsible would be held accountable. The police have also warned that the investigation into the protest will continue. Still in the national focus here,
Over 300,000 cruise passengers are expected to arrive in Dominica for the 2024-2025 cruise season. A plaque exchange ceremony was held on board the Celebrity Summit on Wednesday. It was the first ship to arrive for the season. Director of Tourism and CEO of the Discover Dominica Authority, Marva Williams, says 12 cruise ships will make their inaugural call to Dominica this season.
That was an excerpt of the top reader of the 4th competition of round 1 of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition, Kaylee Bertrand from the Warner Primary School. This afternoon, 6 schools participated in the competition, which took place at the Massac Canefield Primary School. Coordinator of the National Reading Competition, Christina Joseph, has the results.
Coming in 6 from the Coolabay Street Primary School, Asmon Hamlet. Let's give him a round of applause. In 5th position, from the Collyho Primary School, Anelia Thomas. 4th, from our host school, the Massac Canefield Primary School, Amali St. Rose. 3rd, from the Salisbury Primary School, Felicia Euseb. Coming in 2nd, we have Ordella Flora from the Campbell Primary School. And topping competition 4 in round 1 of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition here today is Kaylee Bertrand from the Warner Primary School. Congratulations to all our students. Our top 5 automatically move on to our semi-final round. We end the week tomorrow at the Berean Christian Academy for competition 5 in round 1. where the Berrien Christian Academy, the St. Mary's Primary, Convent Prep, Petit Savon Primary, the Roseau Primary, Ebenezer SDA, Pioneer Prep, and the Goodwill Primary Schools will compete for a spot in our semi-final round.
And that was coordinator of the National Reading Competition, Christina Joseph. Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore, has given the Dominica Police a high rating for its performance in tackling crimes. He says, however, measures are being put in place to increase the effectiveness of the police.
The police force has the most talented officers in the sub-region. Going forward, we are going to go through the process of restructuring to ensure that the police force becomes even more robust and more professional. Later, I'll be making some announcement in terms of some new positions that will be created. But I can say that the Prime Minister is committed to ensuring that the police force is equipped with the tools of trade and with the human resource component that are needed to make the police force even better. We have taken a decision to create a new position of Assistant Commissioner of Police for Administration and Training, because we believe that training has to be an ongoing program, ensuring that we bring back refresher courses and ensuring that we bring back promotional exams, ensuring that there's a better way for members of the public to launch the grievances, ensuring that tribunals can be held on a timely basis to deal with matters of discipline. The police force has to be built on discipline and responsibility. And those are some of the issues that we will be placing prominence.
Blackmore says the training of 59 police recruits will enhance policing in Dominica.
In the next 3 months, we'll be having the graduation of 59 police recruits. That is going to allow the police force and the Commissioner of Police to ensure that there is a beat unit that deals exclusively with ensuring that the free beats in the city of Roseau are adequately policed 24 hours. So those are some of the things that we have to ensure that the people of this country, once and for all, can feel the presence of the police, not only to arrest people, but to talk to the people and to prevent the eventuality of any crime. And those are some of the things that we shall be seeing going forward as we seek to revitalize the police force.
Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore. Festivals and Events Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, Ayodele Andrew, is upbeat ahead of the May 4th Jazz and Creole at Cabrits National Park. She says the lineup brings together some of the finest local, regional, and international artists.
Of course, we've launched the lineup, and you've had some sample of the artists who will be on the event. We have Shalina, Carlin XP, Abia Israel, Colton T, Marie-Claire Giraud, who is a Dominican artist she does opera jazz, but international, based in New York. So we're looking forward to hosting her at home. And Etienne Charles, Trinidadian trumpeter master and Caribbean jazz soul music. Of course, we also have the Swinging Stars and the energetic Signal Band. Itana from Jamaica, reggae sensation, who will be joining us as well. So there's quite a good mix of artists, styles, and music for you to enjoy from 2 p.m. at the Cabrits National Park.
Festival and Events Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, Ayodele Andrew. Reigning champions, Orion Academy and the Dominica Grammar School, are confident ahead of the finals of the 2025 Intersecondary Schools Debating Competition. The finals are carded for the 16th of April at the Truth and Grace Fellowship Global. The two schools will debate on the topic, introducing stricter penalties for causing death by dangerous driving, would effectively reduce vehicular fatalities in Dominica. A student of the Dominica Grammar School and one from the Orion Academy were guests on DBS Radio's The Talking Point this morning.
Me and Jazz Maxwell have since debating, we have become very closer. I would say we have a good relationship, especially through debate. As for strategies, I don't think we should reveal this.
Of course.
You'll have to come to the debate next week Wednesday and find out.
Well, the relationship with my partner, we are very close. Honestly, we were close before. He and I are cousins. It honestly just made the bond much stronger in terms of working with each other and stuff. And the preparations are coming along well. I would say both sides have their troubles they could face. Both sides could have advantages they could face as well. But other than that, I feel like both sides just have to do what they have to do. And I'm well on the proposing side, and I'm happy with how it's turning out so far.
Well, I feel that no side really has an advantage. It just depends on how well you do your research and gather your information, and Orion is on the opposing side. Any topic can be argued, and you always have to keep an open mind.
And that was Madelia Fontaine of the Orion Academy and Renee Talbot of the Dominica Grammar School, respectively. The National Bank of Dominica has been called on to create an enabling environment for young farmers to access starting capital for agricultural investments. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Ansell, made the call during the closing ceremony of the ESG school program organized by the National Bank of Dominica in collaboration with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture. Under the program, agriculture supplies were distributed to St. Luke's Primary School, Dallas Primary School, and Dominica Community High School to enhance these schools' agricultural programs.
With a collaboration with NBD, because we do have issues, and one of the fundamental issues facing young people is capital. And how do we provide the avenue for young people to invest in agriculture? And so I send a call to NBD. We need to reduce the interest rate, and for our farmers, particularly our women and youth, to benefit. I was not really looking for applause, but this is important, because one of the limitations that young people is telling us through our assessment is that the starting capital and availability of land, but we're working on the land. So we urge you to provide special packages for our young people and women that can encourage them to invest in agriculture.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ryan Anselm. Meantime, Marketing Manager of the National Bank of Dominica, Michelle Joseph, says the bank is committed to ensuring the sustainability of Dominica's agricultural sector.
At NBD, we understand that sustainability is about much more than just protecting the environment. It is about creating lasting opportunities for growth and development for future generations. This is why we are so passionate about supporting initiatives that help young people, especially students, to see the tremendous potential in the agricultural sector, not just in growing food, but in also understanding the broader role that agriculture plays in Dominica's economy, society, and the world at large. Through this program, we aim to instill a deeper understanding of the diverse and dynamic opportunities in agriculture. We wanted students to see that agriculture is not just about planting crops or raising animals. It's about technology, innovation, sustainability, and business. By teaching them about the different aspects of agriculture, whether it's eco-friendly farming techniques, sustainable resource management, or understanding the value chains that support agriculture, we hope to have sparked an interest in agricultural careers and entrepreneurship.
Marketing Manager of the National Bank of Dominica, Michelle Joseph. On our featured segment, we focus on the Dominica Arts and Craft Producers Association. They are an organization of about 20 members who reside here and abroad. Member Rosamond Telemack says they are able to put their resources together for the good for all members, as Rosamond Telemack of the Dominica Arts and Craft Association is our feature on the evening news.
We are a home-based family of maybe about 20 artisans doing our work at home, but we go to activities everywhere, including traveling to countries when they invite us to art shows and so.
Give me an idea, what are some of the things that you all do?
We do wooden beads, bamboo, coconut shell. Different people does different items, like who doing fabric, who doing leather. For instance, the president does leather, like belts and key rings and stuff in leather, yeah. Right. And I do with the fabric part, like anything up to sewing or to crafting fabric.
But what was the reason behind forming this organization?
Well, I came into the organization about 5 years ago, and I met the organization going. But to me, I find it's profitable, it's okay, and then, everybody just have to do what they have to do to hold up to the end of the bargain.
Did you say it's family oriented? Is just family members part of this?
No, just different people from all angles. Like, we have members who left the organization and travel, but if we have a need for them, they show up every now and then.
What about sales?
Most of the members we sell online, and then you always have your favorite 1 or 2 customers that come directly to you looking for certain items that we think. Because we do local beads as well among the members, like all the local beads in the forest, we have members doing all those beads and stuff like that.
What is so different about your organization?
Because we have a mixture of different people doing candles, oils, all kind of. So the association is based on a lot of different people doing different items. We have people doing cakes, we have people doing banana leaf, accessories, everything local.
Do you all make a living out of this, or these are just people who have their own work to the body?
Most of the people in the group, that's what they do on a daily basis, especially for we have about 5 members outside of Dominic, like in Guadeloupe, in St. Lucia. That's what they do for their living. Mm-hmm. So if it's a one time, like let's say let's call it that's a month of October for us to gather our finances together to reinvest, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. So every activity you might see us popping up, but that's how it is for the time. Yeah.
So you're saying this is a wonderful organization where people understand what they have to do, and they come together to make it work.
To produce items, so when we go out, we can have stuff to sell. And for their own benefit, if somebody call or they want to sell online, that they have the item to sell to the persons.
And that was Rosamond Telemac of the Dominica Arts and Craft Association, our feature segment on the evening news. Up next is news from the region and international.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now, news from the region. Guyana's President Irfan Ali has announced that starting this year, the government will cover the full cost of up to 8 subjects for students in the private and public education system writing the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate or CSEC examinations. According to Ali, the decision forms part of his government's commitment to develop the education sector. The president added that his administration has been investing heavily on the education sector, with billions of dollars going towards new and improved facilities across the country. Internationally, the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine is stepping down from her post after nearly 3 years in Kiev amid uncertainty over the U.S. President Donald Trump's administration's attempt to broker a peace deal to end the Russia-Ukraine war. The State Department said today that Bridget Brink will be leaving her post in the near future, although it was not immediately clear exactly when she would depart. Brink assumed the post under former U.S. President Joe Biden's administration and has been the staunch advocate for U.S. military assistance to Ukraine. Her resignation had been expected for some time, especially considering the Trump administration's premium on settlement with Russia and ending the war. And this is the end of the news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
And welcome to your DBS evening cricket, sports news. First off, we boil off with some cricket here as the Windward Islands Volcanoes have plunged into a heavy defeat in the regional 4-day tournament. They went down by 10 wickets to the West Indies Academy. The Windwards posted 181 in the second innings, with Alec Athenes scoring 41, Kimani Melius 40, and Shadrach Descartes 32. Ambris had 3, Hodge with 8, and Jonel Eugene has 7. Joanne Lane took 6 for 30 for the West Indies Academy. The Academy hit the required 35 runs for victory without losing a wicket. Final scores: Windward Island Volcanoes 106 and 181, the Academy 253 and 35 without out. Elsewhere, the CCC were doing well against Jamaica Scorpions. The CCC made 327 and Jamaica replied with 133. Batting again, Jamaica reached 206 for 5 at stumps. John Campbell retired hurt on 33. Javel Glenn hit 86 and Brad Barnes 30. Larry Edwards has 3 for 47 for the CCC, and Guyana, replying to Trinidad's 240, were on 269 for 5. Raymond Perez hit 82, Kevlon Anderson 51, and Tevin Imlach 33. Carrie Peer has 3 for 51. In the Leeward Islands Barbados matchup, the Leeward posted 444 for 9 declared. Barbados were 29 for 2. Still in sports this evening here, a half century from Stephen Pascal led the Dominica under-19 team to a convincing 9-wicket win over St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Winlot Super 6 Windward Islands under-19 tournament in Grenada today. The captain Pascal got 68 in 43 balls to get Dominica to 101 for 1, winning with 226 balls to spare. He was supported by Luvio Charles, who made 25 not out. Earlier, having won the toss, St. Vincent and the Grenadines elected to bat first. They were bowled out for 109 in 35.5 overs. The win takes Dominica to the top of the points table.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. You know, I needed that, and so since the start of the tournament, I just wanted to come here and dominate. Obviously, the first 2 games didn't go how I wanted it to go, but that's cricket. So I took the opportunity today. You know, I got in and I stayed in. So I'm grateful for that.
Was it you being a lot more patient today, facing up to the bowlers and giving the bowlers their due respect when needed?
I wouldn't say is that, because in the first 2 games, I feel that the first 3 games, sorry, I felt that I did give the bowlers their respect. I did play my shots when I feel like the balls were in my areas. I just felt it's just something that went wrong, you know, the last game especially. It was unlucky, you know, to get that mode of dismissal, but I learned from it, you know, I left those balls alone today. So I feel it's just small adjustments, small decision-making adjustments that I made today, and it worked out in my favor.
Your team dismissed St. Vincent for 109, and you knocked it off with 1 wicket down. What was the bowling like for you? What did you tell your bowlers today?
Nothing much. You know, they've been putting in the work before I even joined them the week before we came here. So they know what was their strengths. They know what they could do. They know what they can do. They know what they are capable of doing. So it's just really sticking to the plans, sticking to the team's plans, you know, and just keep maintaining pressure. When we're on top, I try to stress that a lot of the times to them, just stay on top.
Last question, how confident are you Dominica now going to the top of the point standings will win the tournament?
Very confident. Trust me, I'm very confident in this team. You know, this team has all-round ability. If I don't score, you know, Asinio, Luvio, a lot of the guys could bat and do the job. And even our bowling is something to behold. So I just feel that we have what it takes. We just have to finish the job now.
And that was the captain of the Dominica Under-19 team, Stephen Pascal. Minister of State in the Ministry of Sports, Senator Oscar George, has praised the efforts of the Dominica Football Association towards developing football at the grassroots level on island. His remarks came at the closing ceremony of a 3-day FIFA for Schools program on Wednesday.
I want to first and foremost recognize the tremendous leadership from the DFA president and the executive members of the DFA. As you know, DFA is the body responsible for promoting and developing football at the grassroots level in Dominica. And I can say without no fear of contradiction that the DFA has been doing a wonderful job. I also want to put on record my personal commendations to FIFA. As you know, FIFA has been providing a large amount of resources to Dominica, well, not only Dominica, the region by extension, in terms of developing football across the region. And I must say that FIFA is now a development partner for Dominica. And we have seen the investments made by FIFA over the last number of years. And we are here again promoting and supporting an initiative supported by FIFA.
Senator George encouraged young footballers to be disciplined and maximize on the opportunities which they are being given.
I want to say to all of you aspiring footballers that you have to maximize the opportunity provided here for you. It's important that you remain disciplined. It's important that you respect your fellow players and your coaches. It's important that you train and train hard. And when people invest resources like this in you, you have to turn out and take advantage of these opportunities. The Football for Schools program is consistent to the vision of the Ministry of Sports and the government of Dominica. We believe that the only way you're going to develop national and regional and international quality players is to invest resources at the grassroots level. And by grassroots, we mean in the communities, in the schools, and at the club level. And this is what we're doing through this initiative. So I want to just put on record our full support and endorsement for this program. It's a program that will obviously impact the lives of our youngsters. And my urge is that all of we can get into this program, better ourselves, and in 10 years down the line, we all can say, yes, we have benefited from this. Some of you will be on the national team. Some of you playing club football. By the end of the day, we all will benefit from this initiative.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Sports, Senator Oscar George. Now we connect with Gavin Richards, sports editor and sportsman extraordinary with some sports news.
Well, good evening, Hassan Robinson. Of course, good evening to the listeners of DBS Radio. And Hassan Robinson, we've just witnessed a historic moment for Dominica and, of course, for the Commonwealth Games, which is scheduled for Glasgow in 2026, where we just had the unveiling of the Dominica's Kings Battle. And, of course, that's the battle that will be making its way eventually to Glasgow, Scotland, as part of the Commonwealth Games. And just a little bit of a brief history as to what, or brief explanation as to what really transpired this afternoon at the headquarters of the Dominican Olympic Committee. Normally we have the Queen's Battle, and the Queen Battle, of course, is a symbol of the Commonwealth Games, and it makes its way from Buckingham Palace in England throughout the 74 member countries across the Commonwealth. This year, of course, is the first time that we're having the Commonwealth Games since the passing of the Queen, and also is now being called the King's Battle. And the unique part about it now is that the opportunity to design the King's Battle, or their version of the King's Battle, which will highlight, various aspects of that country's culture and history. So Dominica's battle was unveiled this afternoon at the Dominican Olympic Committee headquarters. And the battle was designed by Jeanne Bell. She's a member of the Whitey Cooley Artists Association. And I don't think I'm able to describe it in words, the way that the battle. It's a beautiful battle, signifying, various aspects of Dominica's culture, the Kalinago aspect, trademarks of the flag, and basically, just highlighting Dominica's, unique culture and history and heritage. So that was unveiled today at the Dominica Olympic Committee headquarters a short while ago. And of course, we'll hear a lot more about that tomorrow morning. We'll get remarks or feedback, I should say, from Jeanne Bell herself, who is, like I said, designed the battle. We'll also hear from the communications officer or capacity support officer at Commonwealth Sports Dominica. That's Tanya Bennett. We'll get some more feedback from them as well. So the Commonwealth Games King's Battle, the Dominica King's Battle, the activities will start tomorrow, and they will have a few activities leading up to Tuesday when they will have the relay, and of course more information will be given as to where the battle will be going through. As you know, history in previous editions of the battle relay, the various sporting associations, all form part and parcel of that activity where, they exchange the battle and go through the length and breadth of Dominica. So that will be held on Tuesday. But before that, there are a few fringe activities. For example, there's a beach cleanup on Saturday, and